Hey you all, I hope your day is going well. Today I wanted to share with you some ways in which you can gain a leadership experience. I'm going to first start by talking about organizational leadership opportunities. So this could be through a professional organization or a student-led organization or what have you. A lot of organizations have different leadership opportunities. For me, I had two leadership opportunities through the National Association of Social Workers, both on the state level. The first one was as a student liaison, and I was pretty much the NASW representative on my campus, and I was really in charge of recruiting people for Advocacy Day, which is where everyone in the state of Illinois, all the social workers travel to our state capital to advocate for legislative rights and just legislative bills to be passed. So I was in charge of recruiting students to participate in that and communicating important information to the student body on the behalf of NASW. So that's a pretty important role. So that was like my first role. And then my second role was as a graduate representative for the board of directors. So I was on the board of directors for a year. And I really provided insight on ways in which they could increase their student membership, what appeals to us, what didn't, and just kind of ways to make the membership more meaningful for students. I also learned a lot about the ways in which they changed their organization because they went through a lot of different changes, and so being on board for that and just providing good insights, and it was just also just a really great opportunity. So that's kind of like the first way to get it, so through organization. So I would encourage you to have an organization, be a member of an organization, or be on the lookout for different opportunities that organizations may provide. So that's a professional organization. For me, you may have one, whether it's through a club or whether it's through an honor society. Those are great ways to gain experience. The second way that I received leadership opportunities were through educational opportunities, through fellowship and scholarship opportunities. And so the first one is called HEALS Scholar, and so it stands for Healthcare Education and Leadership Scholarship Program. It was funded through the National Association of Social Workers, the Council on Social Work Education, as well as NASW Foundation. And the purpose of this leadership opportunity was to increase healthcare leaders on the BSW, MSW, PhD, and DSW level. And so the scholarship component was me receiving a scholarship for $5,500. So $5,500. That was the scholarship component. And then the leadership component was really learning more about current issues in healthcare. Part of it had a class component. So I received, I think, 2 credit hours for the class, and we had different journal discussions. We read different articles and we discussed and wrote articles based on it. We also was able to take a deeper look into our field placement, and during our field placement we were able to identify an issue to kind of address within the community at large. And so my project was actually on increasing advanced directive awareness. So a lot of people don't like discussing it, and so I provided an opportunity to the School of Social Work to provide opportunities for students and faculty and the community at large to come learn more about advanced directives, how it could help. And so I utilized a national program called the Conversation Project to do that. And then the final component, which is a bit more exciting, was I was able to travel to Washington, D.C. to advocate to preserve the best components of the ACA, and which is the Affordable Care Act. And that was really fun because I was able to actually speak with my legislator in my district. I was able to schedule a meeting with him, and me and 2 other scholars were able to discuss with him why it's important to maintain these components of the ACA as it was going through changes and as various political figures wanted to dismantle it. And so it really gave me an opportunity to develop like my public speaking skills, my advocacy skills, and just leadership skills overall. And so that was a great opportunity, and we just heard from various presenters, and I was able to meet other social work scholars from 9 other schools because 10 schools were selected total. So that was a pretty fun opportunity, and it definitely opened a lot of doors, and it was a good talking point post-graduation. The second one I would say was through Stanford Medicine. So I applied for a fellowship through Stanford University's School of Medicine and was admitted. And this one was in ethnogeriatrics, which is really a particular focus on older adults of certain ethnic backgrounds. Of course, I chose to have a focus in African American older adults, and so there were 3 components of this program. There was an academic component, and there was like quizzes and exams and papers that we had to write. There also was a lot of discussions that we had, a lot of videos that we had. And then the final part was what they called the mini dissertation. So I had to come up with a program, a program to implement in the community in which I wanted to help. So I created an educational program on preventing falls among African American older adults. And so I went to I believe it would be considered an independent living facility for older adults that's in a predominantly African American neighborhood. We had to have at least 3 participants, and I think I had 30. And so I provided educations, I provided assessments for them to like assess their home. I provided education just about the awareness and the prevalence and things like that, and it was very impactful. There were a lot of things that they didn't know. It can be challenging at times to work with older adults because they think they know it all, and then I'm super young in comparison to them, and so that was a nice challenge to overcome. Food always helps, so never be afraid to bring food and fund and feed your audience. I think there's many ways for you to increase your leadership opportunities, and these are great talking points when going into an interview. You come out with a portfolio that you're able to share with your hiring committee, and you're able to actually show skill sets that you're offering. And so whether you're a student or whether you're a professional, these are some great ways for you to look at different opportunities to advance in your field and in your career. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below what's one thing that you're hoping to gain leadership experience in. Thanks so much for watching, and until I see you next time, be you, be great.